Hello everyone and welcome to another random video on my channel. But it is my channel and I do what I want, so here we are at the famous Distillery District in Toronto. Now, the distillery is one of my all-time favorite spots in Toronto, and I'm so glad I got to do a walkthrough on a quiet Sunday morning when there were no people here. It is a popular spot, and for good reason, but it's nice to get this video with no extra bodies in my way, so we can actually take a peek at the architecture and some of the history here. So the Gooderham and Worts distillery was founded in 1832 and was the world's largest distillery for quite a while in the 1960s. The land where the distillery sits is right on what used to be the edge of the lakeshore, where the Canadian National Railway main line ran along the shore. This gave Gooderham and Worts the ideal positioning for ease of import and export, and it also provided kind of a sharp border to keep it separate from neighboring communities, which is pretty ideal for an industrial place like a distillery. Now, if you look at a current map of Toronto, you'll notice that the lakeshore sits a few blocks south of the distillery these days. I did just talk about the distillery sitting right on the lake's edge, so what changed? Well, obviously Front Street no longer sits on the lakefront. Thanks to the waterfront plan of 1812, followed by many years of filling in the harbour, we now have Lakeshore Drive and Queen's Quay just south of the distillery. So that's just kind of a cool fact about the history of the area, as this distillery was booming and its 44 buildings were being built between 1859 and 1927, when all of that was kind of starting. That said, obviously this isn't a booming whiskey distillery anymore. The last of the distillery operations ceased in 1990, and redevelopment proposals for the property began popping up quickly. It didn't take long for two condominium buildings to begin construction on the periphery of the district in the late 90s. Luckily for the historic distillery, these 44 buildings have been protected under the Ontario Heritage Act since 1976, and it was designated as a National Historic Site of Canada in 1988. So, with its designation as a National Historic Site in mind, Cityscape Holdings bought the district in 2001, with plans to turn it into the pedestrian-oriented artisan's paradise that we see here today. Work was completed by 2003, with Cityscape leasing buildings and units only to artists, local entrepreneurs, and small businesses like microbreweries. They also partnered with nearby George Brown College to bring arts and theatre education into the district. You are not going to find any chain restaurants or big-name brand shops in here, and it is my favorite thing ever. back on a warmer day and at a time when the shops are actually open to show you more and to get into more detail about the history and architecture. It's a beautiful spot, especially with its unique juxtaposition of old and new architecture to preserve the historical buildings, and its consistent and ever-changing incorporation of art within its environment. So, this was more of just a walking tour. I don't want to talk through the whole video or anything like that. I do want you to enjoy the view, so thank you for watching. Please drop a like if you made it this far. I hope you enjoyed this footage. Comment with any questions below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see my follow-up video and more interesting content like this. Thanks so much.
Drying it. That's so cool.
That is cool. It smells amazing.